So this is Dave. Welcome to Think for Yourself with Devin Diversa. Dave?
How y'all doing?
So Dave's 69, and he lives currently in Rialto, California.
Yes.
And we're just going to have a small talk for you guys and just see how it goes. So I hope you enjoy it. Dave, let's first start by, where did you grow up?
Well, let me say, I was born in Central California, Modesto. Stayed there until high school, and we went over to the Bay Area. Then I came down to Southern California in 1970 when I joined the Marine Corps. Spent a year overseas, came back, spent a couple of years Camp Pendleton, had a good time. I was in the military police down there. Met my wife and moved up here, and I've pretty much been here ever since.
That's cool. That's cool. So let's speak a little bit more about your military career. Do you have anything that sticks out in your mind that somebody else might want to hear? It could be funny. It could be interesting.
We could go on and on and on about that.
All right.
Once you start talking about your military experiences, it's like rerunning a reel. I didn't go to Vietnam. I island hopped with a battalion landing team throughout the Philippines. We cruised up to Hong Kong, went by the coast of Vietnam. I did that twice. I was with 2nd Battalion, 9th Marines, and then 4 and 2-9, 4th Battalion, 9th Marines.
Nice. So what were some of your major duties? What was your task?
I was infantry.
Okay.
I was a grunt.
Yeah.
We spent the BLT, Battalion Landing Team, running around doing World War II type island hopping training.
Oh, okay.
We played war games amongst ourselves on different islands throughout the Philippines. And to me, that was fun. I was an 18-year-old kid. Nobody was shooting at me at the time. So
right.
That was a lot of fun.
Right.
And when I came back to the States, they interviewed me to see if I wanted to do special military police duty. And I said, sure, why not? I don't have any training in anything else. So they put me with Presidential Security,
Wow.
Camp Pendleton, when Nixon was down there in San Bernardino.
Wow.
So for 2.5 years, we did security detail around Camp Pendleton and San Diego. And
that's really awesome. It's
Yeah.
funny how it kind of links to my other video about veterans from yesterday. The same place. What a small world, you know?
Yeah.
Is there any event in your time with the military that you feel changed you, or do you think there was a specific time that something you went through maybe changed you into the direction of where you thought about manhood or becoming a man? When was the time that you changed from being that carefree teenager to this is real life, I'm a grown-up now?
Well, when I graduated boot camp,
Okay.
I think I felt like a man for the first time.
Really?
Now, I was going to let them use me as they needed me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be a tank driver. I didn't want to be a radio man. I didn't want to be anything in particular. So they made me infantry. And I went through all that training. So.
Is there anyone that you experienced or came across during your military career that impacted you in a positive way?
Yeah. It's been so many years, I really can't remember his name. He was the provost marshal at the time. He started his career during the Korean War as a private in the Marines, and went all the way up to sergeant, got a battlefield commission to captain, and eventually wound up being a full bird colonel. So he would come around when we were out on our posts in shorts in a command car, a sedan with little flags on it. And he'd go out and check and bullshit with the guards on the gate and whatnot. So he impressed me.
Really?
Yeah.
So you say that he had a positive impact on you. How was that? How did he influence you?
By going from buck private, he didn't go to academy school to be an officer.
I understand.
He earned the right.
I understand. So, is there anything else about your military career that that you feel that you'd like to discuss or say or mention or?
No, not really. It took 4 years. It helped me.
Yeah.
You know, it helped me be a man.
Yeah. Did that training or did anything in the military lead into what your next career choice was?
Not a bit.
No. What was it?
When I was getting discharged, I tried out for the California Highway Patrol, and I did not pass the physical due to my vision.
Oh, okay.
And that upset me so bad I didn't want to do any law enforcement whatsoever. So I didn't even look down that road.
Wow.
You know, my other options could have been Border Patrol, Secret Service. Could have re-enlisted.
Yeah.
But I was really good. I had just got married.
Okay. So where did you
Local
find
gal.
Okay. Where did you find yourself then in career? Where did you?
I didn't have a career. I got a job, stop and go markets as a clerk.
Wow.
Did that for a while. Then I went and sold cars for a couple of years.
I cannot see you doing that.
Yeah. Datsun's over in Redlands.
Oh wow, that's cool. I'm sure that was an experience in itself.
It was. That was fun. And after that, I went to Valley College.
That's where you discovered glass, huh?
That's where I discovered glass.
Okay, I was gonna get to that later.
I was taking general, everyday elective courses. You know, just government was paying me $312 a month to if I took 12 units.
Oh wow.
My house payment was only $219.
Nice.
So and I think my second semester I discovered the glass blowing program. I signed up. I got in I don't know how I got in because they had a requirement that you had to have a semester of ceramics
Oh okay.
and a semester of chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have either.
Wow. Was Jim your teacher?
No,
Okay.
Dick Bossard.
Okay.
Jim was his assistant.
Oh okay.
Came in at the time. So I took that for 3 semesters. And then for some crazy reason, I went off to electronics school
Wow.
in Phoenix, Arizona.
Did you guys move as a family out there?
No, my wife stayed here. And I moved out there for 2.5 years.
Wow. I'm sure that was rough.
It was difficult, but then I got a job over in El Segundo, Hughes Aircraft, as a fabrication technician.
Right on. I remember you telling me a little bit about that before.
Built test equipment.
That sounds really interesting.
That was fun. That was fun. Didn't use a lot of the electronics. It was more tinker toy, wiring, soldering, that kind of stuff. But so I worked for them for 9 years. Peace broke out. They tore down the Berlin Wall, and they quit building all the war toys. So Hughes Aircraft laid a bunch of people.
Lost all their funding and stuff.
So I was one of the ones that got laid off.
Damn.
So I played Mr. Mom for a couple of years after that. Then I went to truck driving school and drove truck for a few years. Then I got back into glass. It was an 18-year difference
Wow.
from when I quit glass to got back into glass.
That's pretty interesting.
So my wife backed me up. She says, we financially we're okay. Go back and see if that's what you were meant to do. And that was in 80s or 97, 98, 97. and that's what I've been doing ever since.
So would you say that push from your wife and that support that she gave you was an event that may have changed the trajectory of your life at the time?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
I think the support's really important. I think that's a key with
Yeah,
with art especially.
She's been my rock. She when I give up, she pushed me.
So
we've been married. What year is this? 47 years.
Wow! Congratulations. That's amazing, man.
That's
so,
her up there.
So I feel like I can eliminate one of my future questions already, because what thoughts or memories does the word love bring to mind? And I think I know the answer now. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. It really is. And when I see you guys together, you guys are one of those couples where I'm like, opposites do attract, you know?
Oh, for sure. We're nothing alike.
Yeah, I don't mean anything bad by that.
She's a retired school teacher. She retired from teaching to help my daughter take care of her firstborn, and now there's 4 of them. And
yeah, when I met your wife, I thought to myself, I thought, she is very well put together. She holds herself well.
oh, yeah.
Your house is it's immaculate. You know, everything is in its place. And then I come to your man cave, and I'm like, you're a little rough around the edges, Dave, you know? You know? But I like that about you, too. That's what I mean by the opposites attract thing, and I think that's a very similar aspect to my life, you know? But, so let's stay with the glass-blowing theme a little longer. I wanted to ask you, do you consider yourself an artist? Because that's a question I often get.
Yes and no. I rarely do art when I'm not in a glass studio. I haven't done any art in months.
Is it killing you?
It's killing me. It's killing me. I like to play with glass. I like to be able to start something, and before I have to go to bed, it's finished.
I totally understand
You
that.
know?
I think that's kind of where I'm at right now, too. I've been going really stir-crazy during the pandemic.
By the way, those drawings, kudos.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I should have told you to bring it.
I will next time for sure. Miss Fisher is teaching that class. It's a basic drawing class, but she's been an amazing inspiration to me throughout the process. Since day one, she told me that I have something special, and that I'm just doing a little bit more than she expected to get in that class from a beginner. And she's been so encouraging. And our exchanges get longer and longer and longer because we haven't had the chance to meet in person. So we're like messaging back and forth. These emails that are like a page long and stuff. And it's really interesting, but I can't wait to get into class and meet her, because I think she'll actually help me push those drawings even further, you know?
Oh, sure.
But as I was speaking about, I think the lack of the art during the pandemic it's detrimental to me in a way, because I think that's what's pushing me to reach for more. I want to create more, and that's what led me to
You're using more than one medium.
Yeah.
I'm kind of locked in on one medium.
Yeah.
So that's why my hands are tied.
Yeah.
I've got a whole cupboard full of supplies over there. So what I'm doing, where I'm getting creative, I think, is entertaining the grandkids.
Heck yeah.
They come over every Saturday, sometimes during the week, because they only live 6 minutes down the road.
Right.
And they're being homeschooled. So
how old are they again?
5 to 12.
Oh, okay, that's gotta be really rough.
Yeah.
On your daughter too.
Yeah. And so I had them over here. We built some miniature adobe bricks.
Oh, that's awesome.
We turned my backyard into the floor is lava course that all of the kids challenge.
That's awesome.
They've got to get on one side of the yard to the other.
Without touching the grass or the dirt. Oh, okay, cool. Me and my friends actually used to do that in my backyard. My grandpa had a bunch of construction equipment back there, and we would jump all over it too.
I've got a 9-hole tennis golf course in the backyard.
That's awesome.
And I've learned that if you play it backwards, you can do an 18-hole. And it's a definitely, to do a course backwards, it's totally different. realize that, but and it covers the whole yard.
Dang, we'll have to check that out one day. Maybe we'll even film it. That'd be kind of
That'd be boring.
Okay. I'll take your word for it then.
So teaching them and showing them art and crafts and things that they can only get from Grandpa.
That's a beautiful thing.
You know, I'm like a really good Grandpa.
I know you are. You don't have to say that. That speaks for itself. That speaks for itself. You can see it in your eyes when you talk about them, and that's something that I think has drawn me close to you too. Ever since I met you, I've just felt that you had that fatherly spirit in you. Probably. Oh, I'm good, thank you. But I do believe. I do think that's something that
broke
is.
the fourth wall, didn't I?
Yeah, that's okay. So is there anything else you want to talk about with the grandkids, or should we move forward?
Let's move forward.
Okay. I think we touched on art pretty good. I was going to ask you, what do you think the best thing about creating art is, but I can see that it's teaching it to your grandkids, so that's a pretty clear answer there. So I have some interesting questions that I thought I'd like to throw in here.
Go for it.
They may or may not relate to this topic or future topics, but let's just see how they go. So we talked about love. We talked about art. What do you think about death or the afterlife? And what I mean by that is, have you had experiences in your life with death that have brought you to have a specific idea about what it means to die as a human being?
I held my dad's hand when he died.
Okay.
I didn't get to hold Mom's hand, but I've lost both my parents. My wife has lost both her parents. I've lost a brother. It's taught me everybody dies. Yeah. Afterlife? Yeah. I don't think any of the religions has got it.
Okay.
I don't have an answer for it.
No. That's okay. So out of those losses, you spoke of your parents and your brother. Is it okay if I ask a little bit about your brother and how that happened, and was he young?
Oh no, he was older. I'm the baby.
Okay.
I'm the baby. I have two older sisters.
Okay.
One of them's 12 years older than me. The other one's 3. My brother died from complications of pneumonia.
Was he older?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was 3 years old.
No, I mean, how old was he when he passed?
I don't remember what year he died.
But do you think age was a significant factor in the complication?
No, it was medication.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
If he was here, or I don't want to ask it in that way, is there anything that you would have wanted to say to him that you didn't get the chance to say to him? Because no, you got it all out.
Yeah,
That's good.
It took me a few years after he died to get it all out. But
that's good.
Yeah, I still yell at him now and then.
Right on.
His spirit will always be around.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I talk to Mom and Dad.
I do too.
You know.
Okay. Well, I think that was a good enough little talk about that scenario. Let's move on to some better things, some maybe more lighter notes and still crazy and unique. But let's talk about. Do you have any experience with the paranormal or with extraterrestrials?
No.
None whatsoever. You don't believe
None.
in?
I do believe in them.
Okay, I mean,
but I have had no experience.
Okay. What about extraterrestrial, or not extraterrestrial, but what about paranormal phenomena? Have you ever experienced anything that you maybe led to?
We covered that under the one sentence.
Okay. No, what I was trying to get at was, has there been anyone close in your life that has had an experience that you've... No? Okay. I'll just move forward.
I do not know anyone personally that has.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah.
Even you.
Yeah. Okay.
Nobody has ever told me, I saw an alien.
Yeah.
I saw a ghost. Nobody.
We'll save that for another time.
Yeah.
I have had a little bit of
We could do a whole show on that.
I have had a little bit of an experience, but that'll be a totally different thing. And I feel like what I was basically trying to get at, but the question didn't come out very well, was have you ever heard of any credible, to you, in your opinion, credible phenomenons that have happened that may or may not have been?
Lately, since March, I've been watching a lot of videos.
Okay.
There's a lot being caught on camera now that's never been caught on camera before because of drones and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But with that same note, there's a lot being faked.
Yes.
Very good
Yeah.
fakes.
Heck yeah.
So I can't say I believe them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I don't believe them.
True.
My dad taught me it's hard to believe something you can't tangibly, you know.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier about that Timothy Leary quote that my English professor used to say, think for yourself and question authority. But he used to also modify that to say, think for yourself and question everything. So I think that's a good thing to go by, too.
Watching magic shows has taught me that you can't trust everything you see.
100%.
You know,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on. The reason I did ask those questions, though, partially was because of your military background.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt, people might want to hear that. So hear your
Think
take
for
on
yourself, make your own decisions.
Yeah.
Just don't be stupid.
Yeah, I like that. All right.
And always get a second opinion.
Very, very true. That's good advice. You've never given me bad advice.
It gets you somebody else to blame if you're wrong.
Right. I love you, Dad. I love that. That's such a good one. That's a great piece of advice. Okay, so we're almost going to be at a close here, but one thing, and don't answer if you don't want, we'll just move on. But one question that I feel is going to be a solid point in my interviews, and I feel it's an interesting question, is if you could go back and change anything in your life, would you do it? And if you would make a change, what would be the desired outcome of that change?
I would not change a thing because I'm happy with the way things are now. And if anything in the past was changed, they would not be the same.
I love that answer. I think
I'd leave it.
I think that's a really good answer. Let me expand on that a little bit. Was there a point in your life where you questioned your path potentially and thought in the past, like, man, I wish I could have changed this, but then realized later that you're glad you didn't?
Every other day.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't alone in that.
No, every other day.
Okay.
Boy, was I an idiot back then. If only I could go back and change it. But based on my last statement, I wouldn't.
Good. That's great. That's exactly what I was going for. Yeah. And I think that's going to be helpful to a lot of people. So, this is my last question. So, was there any question that you wanted me to ask, that you prepared for me to ask, that I didn't ask, but you wish I did?
No.
Okay. Lastly, and I mean it this time, what do you think about Think for Yourself with Devin DeVersa as a concept?
I think it's a good concept. I think you'll go with it.
Thanks, Dave. I really appreciate that. Any closing statements for the audience?
Just cold cliches.
Yeah. Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid. Be true to yourself and try not to piss everybody off.
Right on. Well, thank you, man. So this has been Think for Yourself with Devin DeVersa and with Dave. And we hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.
Well, all right, folks. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Think for Yourself with Devin DeVersa. Stay tuned for future episodes. Goodbye.